NFL and the Vegas Raiders. Interesting team this year, although they got no primetime games. Fernando Mendoza, your quarterback. He's been hard at work learning Kubiak's system. Here's what Raiders' new OC Andrew Janocko had to say.
He's asking questions that you might not have thought about in a couple years, working with some more veteran guys. But now you have a guy that's fresh into the league that has some different questions. And what it does is it makes you be on your toes for everything. Right. But it also makes you evaluate everything. And hey, maybe we could get better if we did. Yeah, I know we've had some success doing it one way, but we could do it another way and be even better.
I can't wait to watch.
Well, I don't know if you're going to have to wait a month or not, because, we had Hasselbeck and some others coming on saying, yeah, you got to start Kirk Cousins. I think you and I are in lockstep here. I'm going Mendoza from week one. Play the kid.
Miami at home?
Come on. It's a layup.
Well,
Miami's defense is gutted. They got nobody.
No, they're going to start. Miami could start 8 rookies from the draft, and it wasn't a good draft. They don't have honestly, it's not like it was a great draft, and they got, Cleveland went and got really good players. The Jets. There are certain teams in the NFL that got really high-end starters. Cleveland got 4 that'll play day one. The Dolphins draft was Remember, they kind of reached on a tackle, and then it was an inside linebacker, and they took a receiver, the first receiver they took. It was one of the weaker draft selections in that round. Mm-hmm. So I think Miami, new staff, new offense, new everything. That's about as. And that crowd's going to be crazy in Vegas.
By the way, Fox game, obviously, we'd love Mendoza. But look at the schedule for the Raiders. So you got Dolphins, Chargers have a good defenses on the road, back-to-back road games against the Saints. But after that, Chiefs, Patriots, Bills, Rams? If you start Kirk Cousins for the first 3, he's probably going to play the first 7 games.
All right, let's dive into this. I don't want to get too hung up on the Kirk Cousins versus Mendoza debate. We'll talk about that too, but I feel like I've already covered that plenty because I just completely disagree with the whole notion of just throw Mendoza out there. That's such an unreasonable thing to do. You do what's right. You do what's right for your football organization. You do what's right for Mendoza's development, and so on. But I really want to highlight Mendoza's questions about offense because people aren't analyzing this enough. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And so rarely discussed when it comes to these young players. What Mendoza is doing is unbelievable. And I really want to talk about that. But before I do, Las Vegas Raiders fans, please, please, please do not forget to subscribe and watch the full length of the video. When you guys do that, views go through the roof. Subscribers go through the roof. And it's not about chasing views. It's not about chasing subscribers. It's about being able to create Las Vegas Raiders content that people genuinely want to watch and engage with. That way we can keep having the most unbiased, grounded, genuine conversations about the Raiders. So we can actually have real discussions, especially in the comment section, where the comments are truly through the roof and on a comment-to-view basis. It's really second to no one out there. We are legitimately having some of the best conversations. So please do consider doing that, as it is without a doubt the best way to support this channel so I can keep making the best Las Vegas Raiders content that I possibly can. But okay, here's the big thing. I cannot emphasize this enough. I cannot emphasize this enough. The fact that Mendoza is actually asking questions, and asking them in a way that stands out so much that one of his own coaches feels the need to comment on it, is so huge because it shows humility. And speaking of being genuine, the sincerity of Mendoza and his openness, when you get drafted, when you are a new player on a new team, whether you're a freshman in high school, a freshman in college, whether you're transferring, no matter what the situation is, there is such an automatic mentality of I just have to prove that I know everything, that I'm worthy, that I'm already great, that I'm the best. I'm telling you, there are so many questions that these players don't ask. It's just a lot of head nodding like, yep, got it. And it takes a huge degree of confidence to ask a question. It really does. When you're talking to a coach, it takes a massive amount of confidence to say, I'm actually a little bit confused right here, or I don't really understand, or what did you mean by that, or wait a second, what about this and what about that? Actually seeking to understand, because I'm telling you, there are so many young, new players out there who will not ask that. Put it this way, think of Caleb Williams when he entered the league. He was telling people, sending messages to the punter saying, oh, you're not going to punt this or that, I'm pretty much ready to take over. Do you think, with that mentality, when someone asked him, do you get scared? And he straight up said, I never get scared, I was like, okay, sure. Whatever you say. Literally every single person under the sun gets scared. But he's like, I never get scared. Never get scared. And yet Patrick Mahomes admits to getting scared. Tom Brady admitted to getting scared. You get nervous. You get a little antsy. That's normal human behavior. So the fact that you're denying that makes me uncomfortable personally, because it feels like you're not being authentic right now. And do you think someone with that mentality is really comfortable saying, I don't know, or I'm a little confused, or wait a second, can you clarify that for me, or what about this? What about that? No. They're like, any questions? And they say, nope. This is why teachers always say, preachers say, no stupid questions, right? No stupid questions. Ask. And think about when you started a new job or when you were playing and you first made a team or whatever. There is a feeling of just trying to be like, yeah, no, I know it. I'm ready. I'm with it. I know just as much as that guy who's been on the team for 4 years. Like, no, I know it. I know it. Yeah, I'm not the starter right now, but I could be one day. Just give me a second. I'm here. I know it. I know it. And the truth is, you don't. And being able to admit that you don't know everything, and asking these questions, or even feeling comfortable saying, wait, would it maybe be better if we did this? Because there are different types of questions. Some questions are like, I don't understand. I don't know. Others are clarifying questions, but wait a second, if you want us to do that, doesn't that open the door for this? And that's actually kind of thought-provoking. Or asking questions in a way that says, well, would it maybe be better if we did this instead of that? Right? All of it requires confidence. All of it requires humility. All of it requires comfort, which is so important. It's so important. One of the best ways we know this, based on psychology and research on dating, for example, one of the best ways to have the most successful first date you can, here's a little dating advice for you all, is to just admit that you don't know everything, that you're not perfect. It's sincerity. Just say, yeah, I always get nervous on first dates or whatever. Like, oh man, it's always so weird, right? Like, I haven't even met you yet, and you've got a plate of chicken in front of you. What is even happening right now? Or, whenever I'm on a date and I'm eating, I always think I have sauce on my face. Just admitting that. Don't go too far with it, okay? Don't air out every single anxiety and fear you've ever had. Tch. That's not best either. But just admit the reality of the situation, a little uncomfortable, a little awkward, or whatever. Same thing with conversations where you say, yeah, I know I'm not perfect. I'm obviously not the most perfect human being ever made. It's just that humility. That awareness, that understanding that it's okay. Because especially when you're younger, and you feel like you're going on a date, you think you have to be perfect. You think you have to say every single thing perfectly. And if they ask you a question, you have to give the perfect answer. You have to present that you have all the answers figured out, that you've got everything all figured out, right? And that you're not nervous, you're Joe Cool out there. That's a tough way to live, man. That's a tough way. And when I played for other teams, it was so frustrating in the beginning because there was this feeling that you have to prove yourself. I remember one of the last teams I played for, I was the new guy coming in, and there was a sense that these guys didn't know me. They didn't know who I was. They didn't know my worth. And at first, you don't feel the space and the room to be able to say, I don't know. You feel like every little thing you do wrong is a big example of why you shouldn't even be here, why you're not even worthy to be on this team. Any mistake, any error, any time you're not great, you feel it in your soul. You're not thinking, well, yeah, of course I'm not perfect. No 1 foot. S perfect. Of course I'm going to make some mistakes. Of course I'm going to mess up a play or a drill. And we even saw what's-his-face freak out, speaking of Caleb, right? When he had a very bad run at a throwing drill and he was all frustrated and angry. I promise you, some of that was because he felt dumb about it. Not that you could say, well, he was just frustrated at himself, which is definitely part of it. But there's also the sense of, man, I messed up that drill and everyone saw it. Everyone sees it. Rather than just being like, well, yeah, of course. Because when you're 10 years into it, right, when you're Josh Allen, Tom Brady, whoever, and you mess up that drill, you're like, yeah, man, that wasn't good. You say, alright, I guess I'm retiring now. Or you make a joke, alright, guess I'm retiring. I've been exposed. I do that all the time now just for my own anxiety relief. If I mess up a name or say something that sounds absurdly ridiculous, I always say, alright, I've been exposed. I don't actually know anything. I don't know anything about football. I don't know anything about basketball. I don't know anything about sports. I've been exposed. It's a way of acknowledging, yeah, I just said something dumb or I fumbled over words or whatever. Just acknowledging that experience. I'm not going to tell you that if I just got drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders or the Chicago Bears, I'd be doing that, right? I wouldn't be doing that because I grew up is someone else who was one of the best athletes I ever played with. Every time he would mess up in practice, or any time we got to a new team or anything like that and he was imperfect, it was always, oh, well, you know, my quads are tight right now. Oh, my hamstrings are, I'm just, man, my stomach. And he would also start doing that before going into a game or workout or whatever it might be. It was always, oh yeah, well, my quads are already kind of not feeling right. It was a preemptive move to say, if I mess up or I don't look great, I have an excuse already in the wings. I already got an excuse in the wings, right? I already got it. And you know what? I tried to use that one time for a big team that I played for. It was kind of like tryouts for this pseudo-Olympic type thing, not real Olympics, but you know. I remember I went up to the coach and I was like, oh, just so you know, I kind of got hit in the head, so things are just a little bit hazy. This happened in a game I was playing a couple days ago. And he was like, I'm sure you'll be fine. He was so dismissive. He said, no, I know you're great. You'll be fine. He didn't even give me the room to leave the door open to use that as an excuse. Because for whatever reason, I guess I wasn't feeling confident in that moment. And him saying that was kind of like, oh, I've got no excuses right now. I felt like I was on an island, but I succeeded and got through it. And that's just part of it. That's why they have sports psychology. That's why we see players go into such insane slumps. We see players behead cases all the time. The mind is crazy, man. The mind is crazy. And that's what's so awesome about Mendoza. That man's mind is at peace. That man's mind is just like this. I find it so inspiring, so exciting, so awesome. It's why I really like Jalen Hurts' mentality as well, you know? That is such an under-discussed part of Jalen Hurts' mentality. Say what you will about him, but that man is like this no matter what. And it's why he's played his best games on the biggest stage in Super Bowls, multiple times against the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's why when we see other players who people say choke, which I don't 100% agree with, but like Lamar Jackson, we see him throw an interception in the AFC Championship game in the red zone, and he takes off his helmet and slams it down on the sideline. Is it shocking that some players handle the moment better than others when we see behavior like that? Of course not. So seeing Mendoza do this type of stuff, it's so much more than meets the eye. It's so much bigger. It really, really is. I remember when Caleb first got drafted, I had that conversation, I even gave a similar rant about this, and I said this is one of my concerns with Caleb. And it ended up really proving to be correct, going into that rookie year. And this is now one of the things that I can absolutely, undeniably praise about Mendoza, and that should just get you even more excited, honestly. But yeah, I mean, listen, and I'll just end here. I won't make this video run too long. But on the whole Kirk Cousins versus Mendoza thing, I am a firm believer in sitting a quarterback. And if Kirk Cousins is ready, Kirk Cousins knows this offense inside and out, has already worked with Kubiak. If there's still plenty more for Mendoza to learn and you think that right now it's the smarter move, I don't care that it's only the Miami Dolphins or that it's week 1 in front of the Raiders fan base. It has nothing to do with anything. Sorry. I'm sorry to say, Raiders fan base, I love you. You're awesome. You're intense. You're exciting. You're so engaged, and you care about football so much. It's really awesome to see and really fun to make content for and read the comments. But you're not being considered in whether Kirk Cousins or Mendoza should start. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break the news to you. Your thoughts on the matter of who should start are completely meaningless, as are mine. Okay, even though I'm sharing them. But it's meaningless. You do what's right by the players, by the team, and by the coaching staff. Alright. And if that means Kirk Cousins starts, and you do it, and people say, oh, if Kirk Cousins starts the first 3 games, then he's going to start the first 7, great. Maybe you can win a lot of games here. If you think that Mendoza can beat the Dolphins, great. Then that means Kirk Cousins can beat the Dolphins. And then you have a tough game against the Chargers, the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Bills, and the Rams. You want a seasoned veteran quarterback for that. That's another reason why people say, oh, Mendoza, what an easy game against the Dolphins. And then you have to go up against an awesome division rival on the road, the Chargers. And then again, you've got the Chiefs. Spags versus a rookie quarterback. I don't care how good or not good the Chiefs are. Spags versus a rookie quarterback is going to cook. He's going to make Mendoza very uncomfortable. That's just a fact. Not just for Mendoza, for any young quarterback. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. Just a fact. Then you're going up against Vrabel and the Patriots. Same thing. Same thing. Then you're going up against a Buffalo Bills defense, we'll see what that looks like. But we know that offense is going to be popping. And then you've got the Los Angeles Rams. So yeah, you know what? Maybe it makes sense to have a seasoned veteran start, at the bare minimum, the first half of the season, or dare I say, the entire season. And not to mention, Mendoza will still continue to be able to learn. The connection, the relationship that Mendoza and Kirk Cousins can build, that is worth its weight in gold. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you all think about Mendoza asking questions? Pretty much my whole rant about the psychology and humility of these players, admitting what you don't know, and how hard that is, quite frankly, when you're trying to prove how great you are and how much you do know. And who do you think should start? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, whether you agree with me or disagree with me. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.